Tonight, I want to share with you one of the most haunting true crime stories from Alabama, United States, a case that remained cold for nearly 20 years. It all started with two teenage best friends celebrating a 17th birthday, but instead of a joyful party, their night ended in tragedy. Two girls. A road trip gone wrong. A chilling discovery inside the trunk of a car. This is the heartbreaking story of J.B. Beasley and Tracy Hollett. Grab your drink, get comfortable, and let's dive into the full case. On the morning of August 1, 1999, around 9 a.m., a black Mazda 929 was found parked on the side of Herring Avenue in Ozark, Alabama, a quiet stretch of road surrounded by woods. A patrol officer noticed the car and felt something was off. It looked abandoned. He walked closer and peeked through the window. The car was empty, the door was unlocked. Inside, nothing seemed out of place, but there were mud stains on the floor near the driver's seat and muddy smudges on the tires and bumper. This was strange, because there was no muddy area nearby. The surrounding area was dry and firm. Where did this mud come from? The officer called for backup. When the other units arrived, they inspected the car thoroughly and decided to tow it to the station. But just before the tow truck arrived, one officer found a trunk release button inside the car. They pressed it, the trunk slowly opened, and what they found inside horrified everyone. Two teenage girls were curled up inside, lifeless, covered in mud and blood. They had been shot. Later, they were identified as J.B. Beasley and Tracy Hollett, both just 17 years old. They had been reported missing only a few hours earlier by Tracy's mother, Carol. Their birthday celebration had ended in murder. Tracy Hollett was born on March 3, 1982, in Dothan, Alabama. She was an only child. Her father passed away when she was just 5 years old, and her mother later remarried a man named Mike. Despite her loss, Tracy grew up to be a cheerful, friendly teenager, the kind of girl who made friends easily and loved life. One of her closest friends was J.B. Beasley. J.B., whose full name was J.B. Hilton Green Beasley, was born on July 31, 1982, in Troy, Alabama. Her parents divorced when she was young. Her mom, Cheryl, remarried a man named Joe, and J.B. gained 4 half-sisters from that marriage. J.B. split her time between her mom's and stepdad's homes. She was strong, smart, and loved her family deeply. At the end of July 1999, it was J.B.'s turn to stay at her dad's place in Dothan. Since her dad's house was near Tracy's, she decided to stay a few nights at Tracy's home. Then came her 17th birthday, July 31, 1999. J.B. invited Tracy to a birthday party in Headland, Alabama. It was also the end of summer, and they wanted to have one last fun night before school resumed. They got permission from their parents and left at around 10 p.m. in J.B.'s black Mazda 929. The distance to the party was about 32 kilometers. They promised to be back by 11:30 p.m. because Tracy's parents were strict about curfew. But somewhere along the way, they got lost. The roads were dark and winding, and they accidentally drove into Ozark, far off their intended route. Without GPS or smartphones, they tried to find a public phone. Around 11:30 p.m., they stopped at a gas station near a store called Big Little Store. Tracy used the payphone to call her mom and let her know they were lost. At the same time, a woman named Merlene and her daughter Muriel pulled into the parking lot. J.B. asked Merlene for directions to get back to Dothan. Merlene told them to take a route through Midland City. Tracy then told her mom, "I might stop by my boyfriend's house in Midland City since it's along the way. Don't worry, I'll be home soon." That was the last time anyone heard from them. Hours passed. Tracy and J.B. never returned. Tracy's mom, Carol, grew worried and called Tracy's boyfriend, Wet. But Wet said she never came. She called saying she was nearby, but never showed up. "We even went looking for her." By morning, their families were panicking. Mike, Tracy's stepdad, searched the roads in and around Dothan, Midland City, and Ozark, but found nothing. They finally filed a missing person report. Only a few hours later, police found the black Mazda on Herring Avenue, inside the trunk. Were the bodies of Tracy and J.B. Autopsies revealed that both girls had been shot. Tracy had a gunshot wound to the temple. JB had been shot in the face. JB's jeans were muddy on the inside, indicating they may have been removed before she was forced into the trunk. Even worse, DNA evidence suggested that JB had been sexually assaulted. Police sent the DNA samples to the lab and began a full investigation. They interviewed Merlene, who confirmed that the girls were healthy and cheerful when she saw them at the gas station. Police then reviewed surveillance footage from the Big Little store. There, they spotted a pickup truck arriving while the girls were at the phone booth, but the footage was too blurry to identify the driver or the license plate. Flyers were distributed, and rewards were offered, first $25,000, then $35,000, and later $45,000, but no credible leads emerged. Months passed. Then years, the case went cold. In 2018, nearly 20 years later, police partnered with Parabon Nanolabs, a lab that uses advanced DNA genealogy techniques to solve cold cases. They used the DNA sample found on JB's body and compared it to public genealogy databases. Eventually, they narrowed it down to 5 potential suspects. One name stood out: Coley Lewis McCraney. Coley was born in Florida in 1974 and moved to Ozark as a child. He had joined the U.S. Air Force in the 1990s and was issued a 9mm pistol, the same caliber as the murder weapon. By 1998, Coley was living only half a mile from the Big Little store. When police matched his DNA, it was a perfect match with the DNA found on J.B. In March 2019, Coley was arrested. At first, he denied knowing the girls. He claimed to be confused and asked for a lawyer, but during the investigation, police presented overwhelming evidence: the DNA, the matching firearm caliber, and inconsistencies in his story. Finally, in court, Coley confessed that he had met JB at a mall a few weeks before the murder. He claimed they had consensual sex and insisted he didn't kill her or Tracy, but prosecutors argued that his DNA, his lies, and his weapon access all pointed to guilt. In April 2023, after a long trial, Coley was found guilty of capital murder and sexual assault. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. After more than 2 decades, the families of J.B. Beasley and Tracy Hollett finally got justice. It took DNA, new technology, and relentless dedication from law enforcement to uncover the truth. But for the families, no sentence can bring back their daughters. Let this story be a reminder that even when justice is delayed, it is not denied. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime cases. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.